First, let me acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and pay respect to elders past and present and to emerging community leaders. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to the powerhouse on Brisbane's beautiful riverfront and to introduce you to the team from ABC Commercial, who I think after, I'm going to say 18 months of us all talking about it and planning to get the team here, we've managed to bring to talk with you here in Queensland, and they've been really keen to get up here, and it's great to have them here with us. I'll introduce them and then hand over to them to get started. We've got Robert Patterson, who is the Director of ABC Commercial, and Jess Ellis, who is the Head of Video Entertainment and Distribution, Sharon Ramsey-Luck, who is the Head of Sales and Business Development, and then with them is Lisa Resk, who's the Head of Marketing, and Kate McDermott, who's the Manager Acquisitions. So thank you for coming, and over to you guys.
Thanks. Here we go. ABC Commercial open for business. Today's session here in Queensland, it's obviously a great opportunity for us to share our insights into the domestic and global markets, but importantly it's really the first opportunity I've certainly had to connect with many of you and hopefully begin a dialogue that might see us working together in the future. Before I talk more and my colleagues talk more about our distribution businesses, which will be of greatest interest to you, just a very quick snapshot about ABC Commotion. Some of it was evident in that little show reel. So we've been around for over 40 years. We are fairly unique, if not unique, in the distribution landscape, nothing quite like us anywhere out there, in that we run a range of businesses which are all geared towards extending the life of content. So much more than the selling of content globally and through product releases, but actually the creation of content to supplement the material that we get from our producers and other partners. So we run a range of businesses, from the creation of digital products to the recording of soundtracks and music albums. We have books, magazines, toys, clothing, merchandise businesses, live events businesses, and behind the scenes music publishing business with a very impressive array of screen composers and songwriters. We have a studio production business that can do anything from the dry hire of a TV or radio studio all the way through to a full production that we can resource. So we have this ability to acquire a piece of content and work with a producer on a new show, and to actually do absolutely everything that is possible to do with that piece of content in terms of extending its life and extending its brand, but importantly generating revenue and a return from it. So I think today it's really a chance for us to tell you a little bit about what we do, but importantly for some Q&A, so we're going to do that at the end. What I will quickly comment on though is many of you will have heard, of course, last year we announced that we were closing our network of 50 ABC shops, and that's another piece of the unique puzzle that is ABC Commercial. We are, however, looking this year in 2016 to have a bigger retail footprint than we've ever had in over 40 years. How are we doing this, given that we're closing our own shops? Well, we will in fact have over 220 branded ABC Centre outlets through retailers all over the country. So this gives us, again, a very strong retail presence directly in front of the consumer to get the products we produce out there. But today's focus, as I said, is on the distribution business and the important role they play. And look, it is less a sales pitch to tell you how terrific we are, although we are pretty terrific. It is really a chance for us to share our insights of the global market, both what's happening here from home entertainment all the way through to what they're buying in China in kids content or anything else like that. And I would say that at this particular time, there's never been greater opportunity to actually sell content. The ability for us to basically access markets, access new channels of distribution has never been greater. But with that has come a degree of complexity we've never seen before. So the importance of strategy and really the importance of expertise, and that's what we bring to the table. The expertise through years of immersion in those markets and experience in those markets. So to start, I'm going to hand over to Jess Ellis, who's going to talk a fair bit about the video business in Australia, both digital and physical, and I'll leave it with her. On screen you see there, that was to sort of illustrate the point, is the ABC Shop Online and the ABC Centre network, which will continue, as will our ability, very fortunate ability to promote our products on the ABC's platform. So that all continues despite the closure of our own shops. Handing over to Jess.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us in lovely Brisbane today. What a great venue to come and speak at. It's great to be here just to share some insights into working with ABC Commercial and our activities. So I've been at the ABC for 9 years in a few different roles during that time, and there has been some change, but the last 12 months has seen the most significant changes, and you'd all agree there's no doubt about it that right now we're in a period of massive disruption. A disruption that is impacting the media industry and the consumption of content, which in turn is impacting the home entertainment industry. So today I wanted to share some consumer behaviour insights and look at how this behaviour continues to shift as a result of new technology and content platforms. And with consumers now in the driver's seat, we've seen some major impact on the home entertainment market as well. So today we'll look at current trends and future forecasts. And as a result of the change in consumer behaviour and market performance, distributors such as ABC Commercial have been forced to confront this head-on by changing our business models and implementing strategic release windows. So today I'll also give you some insight into our current windowing strategy and how this works alongside ABC television. So let's start off by rewinding 10 years. So this was a very typical scenario in the lounge room just 10 years ago. There was one TV, one remote control, all eyeballs watching the same piece of content. And what were they watching? Well, they were watching a choice of 5 free-to-air channels, 1 ABC digital channel, and Foxtel. There was no catch-up TV. In fact, Foxtel had only just launched their IQ box 10 years ago. So the only way to catch up on your favourite TV show was to buy a DVD in a range of retailers who had abundance of shelf space dedicated to DVD. So it was a very lucrative time for DVD and a relatively straightforward distribution process. But what's happening now? Well, does this look familiar in most households these days? This is what the lounge room looks like. So on average, homes have 8 connected devices, and 85% of audiences are multitasking while watching TV. And what are they watching? Well, it could be a number of linear channels. In fact, 2 more have launched since I even put this slide together. You could be purchasing digital downloads, you could be catching up via iView or several other FreeVOD platforms, you could be subscribed to an SVOD service, or you could still be buying a DVD. But the key here is that the power of content consumption has now shifted from the media to the consumer. And the consumer is now in full control of their content choices. But there is good news. And that good news is that the consumer are now spending more time accessing content, with time spent viewing increasing over 4 hours per week since 2014. So that's just incredible. And to support their increased viewing habits, consumers are buying more technology. So smartphone penetration has gone from 52% in 2012 to 75% last year. Tablet penetration, again, has more than doubled since 2012, and internet-capable TVs has doubled since 2012. So how is all this affecting the home entertainment market? Well, globally, the shift has had quite a dramatic impact, with PwC forecasting. So the way to read this is the 2 lower colours are physical revenues, and the lighter shades of blue at the top are digital. So PwC is forecasting a nearly $10 billion growth in overall value in the next 4 years. And more interesting is that digital revenue is expected to exceed physical by 2018, so in just 2 years' time globally. Now, Australia is slightly different. So in Australia, the physical trends, or the physical sales, are holding relatively strong against the global market, almost 70% at this point. The overall value over the next few years is forecast to remain relatively flat, but you can see that the digital revenues are expected to grow. And what categories are still selling on DVD, you're probably wondering? Well, movies still makes up the largest segment at 43%, but you can see there the TV series is still holding strong and can experience growth from month to month. So getting the right TV offering or documentary offering into retail at the right price in the key sales period, and you will still see strong results. And with a value of still over $769 million, the Australian DVD market is still very much alive. So in response to the ongoing shift in consumer behaviour and the effect that it's having on the home entertainment market, ABC looks to optimise commercial exploitation through strategic windowing across different platforms at different times. And in the first instance, it's critical that the consumer awareness is created by broadcast activity. So we work very closely with our colleagues in ABC TV to ensure our marketing efforts are coordinated and effective. So the first window is pre-broadcast in the lead up to 2 to 12 months prior. So during this time, we're identifying publicity and social media opportunities during production. We're coordinating assets with ABC TV for social media, for DVD and digital download extras and retail-specific offers. We're developing marketing and publicity plans that complement ABC TV's activity, and we're offering pre-sales to drive on-platform promotional placement. So during broadcast, we're really focusing on our day after catch-up on all digital download services. We're increasing our program exposure through iView links to buy, where we're linking directly from iView into the digital download on iTunes and Google Play and into ABC shops to pre-order the DVD. And a great example of how this is working right now is with Jack Irish, where we're integrated with our commercial plans on iTunes and working with TV on iView and calling back to the broadcast on Thursday nights. So during this time, we're maximising awareness and driving sales with dedicated digital download on-platform promotions, and we're driving ongoing support with dedicated marketing and promotional strategies. So the next window is the post-broadcast window, which is the 12 to 18 months after broadcast. I refer to this as the transactional window. So this is where we're really looking to capitalise on the TV broadcast type, and we're releasing the DVD across the total retail market. We're utilising our ABC platforms across TV, radio and online to promote the DVD and digital download release. And we're extracting maximum commercial value by participating in ongoing promotional campaigns and digital download EST-led pricing initiatives. I suppose the critical thing here is agility during this window, because we must be able to respond and support the needs of each retailer. The marketing and retail campaigns during the transactional window are critical to drive engagement and increase awareness of the brand, because the activity during this window gives your program ongoing exposure outside of the broadcast activity, which really helps set up the discussions for both the SVOD and pay TV window and the deals, and everything we do here can really impact the success that we have on these services. Which goes to the last window, which is around 12 to 18 months post-broadcast in the SVOD pay TV window. So during this time, we're leveraging all the brand building activity over the last 12 months to put forward compelling offers to the SVOD and pay TV market. We're working really closely with our SVOD and pay TV partners to identify trends and track performance of our content. And we're supporting our partners with additional marketing assets to drive awareness and promote content availability on the service. So it's certainly not a set and forget. There's regular ongoing discussions around marketing opportunities that the ABC can also bring to these SVOD services. So to date, we've been key launch partners on all the SVOD services across Australia and internationally, and we're in a very strong position to market in this market to capitalise on the strength of the ABC brand and our depth of catalogue. We continue to be the #1 preschool brand in Australia, and we're now being regarded as the ANZ SVOD distributor of choice by many international partners, which was reflected in recent deals we did with Sesame Workshop, DRG, where we've just picked up 400 hours of quality UK dramas, and HIT representing all the Mattel kids shows. So a very brief insight into our video distribution business, and looking forward to answering any questions that you might have during Q&A or after the drinks. Thank you. I'll hand over to Sharon.
Hi everyone, and I'd like to echo Robert and Jess's comments to say thank you so much for making the time to come and be with us today and find out about our world and hopefully gain some insights from the information we share. And thank you to Joe and Spring Queensland for hosting us and organising everything. We're really happy to be here. So my team focuses on the international sales, so I'll speak to that, and the complexity that Jess has spoken of within Australia equally applies, if not even to a greater effect internationally, because of the development and establishment of the digital platforms internationally. So really, this slide is really just to indicate, which you probably are already aware, that it's loud, it's noisy, it's very cluttered and congested out there. And the challenge for content makers and distributors is achieving that cut through, ensuring that your content has the opportunity to shine and find a home, and ensure that, you know, that in a marketplace such as exists internationally for content availability, how do people discover your program? How do you get the right value? How do you find the right customer? And that's what our team delivers. We help navigate a course through that to find the right buyer, the right home, and optimise the value and exposure and audience reach that your program can deliver. Obviously, the key shift in the marketplace over the last few years is SVOD. And we've put this Netflix graph because the key player in the marketplace is undoubtedly Netflix. A report came out in December from a company called Sandvine that said that 70% of all internet primetime usage in North America, 70% was for Netflix downloads. So this is a behemoth that we all have to understand and work with, and we are just negotiated when Netflix launched in Australia, the ABC catalogue. It was the biggest sale of all content supplied to Netflix for the launch, and internationally we equally have a great relationship with Netflix. So they are important, they are huge, they're going to be here for years to come, and it's important to stay close to what they're doing and to build that strong relationship with them. In terms of some of the stats, and obviously you can see the size of the business. As of last year, there were 75 million subscribers internationally, and in the last few months they've launched to 130 new territories. So they are huge, but they're not the only player in the marketplace. So Netflix has, you know, a content offering for all genres and all tastes, but there are many other SVOD players that have been established in the last 2 years or so, that are specialists as well. So it's very much a complementary offering. So we have licensed content recently to a company called Curiosity Stream. They're a documentary platform, to CISO, which is a comedy platform, to a number of kids platforms. So the marketplace has changed with digital players, but it's not just the one-size-fits-all for everyone. There are the tailored and selective platforms that are emerging as well. Other points to note that obviously we need to be across these changes and to embrace the opportunities that they present. But one of the great things is that, you know, in times gone by when you were trying to sell a program to someone, you know, you very much had to, you were guided by the slots they had available, their strategy, you know, the duration of the content, whereas the digital platforms don't have those restrictions. If they believe the content is right, it doesn't matter how many episodes there are, what the duration is, because they have the capacity and can keep on feeding that capacity. So as content makers, it is really creating additional opportunities for you. I also just want to comment too with SVOD, because the window strategy just referred to in Australia doesn't always apply internationally. We're often finding that the SVOD players are the premier platform. They're either the exclusive partner or the premier platform. It is absolutely dependent on their interest in the content, what they want to pay, whether they see it as a fit for the platform. So it is, you know, their model changes based on the interest and demand in the content. Now you've got it, there is more to come. And even more still. There we go. There. No, discovery is absolutely critical. So in the digital landscape, just imagine when you used to go shopping in times gone by, or not even times gone by, but for this sort of content. So you'd go to a retail environment and you'd see a wonderful display of something in the shop window, and that would help you discover that content. So just apply that sort of consideration to the digital landscape, and you have to discover it. And there are a few critical elements to people finding your content on digital platforms. 5 key points I want to share, and this is, this was in a report that came out. Most of these points were in a report that came out recently in Discovery, but I do want to really highlight them to you because you need to consider this when you're making and putting together the programs. Don't think of it as an afterthought when you've delivered. You need to be mindful of this all the way along. The title. You think of an EPG on a television guide, does it stand out? Do you accurately convey in the first 15 letters of the title what it is? Because that is what's going to draw people to discovery. So really be mindful of the title you give your programs. The tagline. What is it that, you know, is going to help people discover, you know, the essence of the program and why they would choose to tune into your program as opposed to anything else? You need to be really accurate and enticing in the way you describe the program. Images and key art. The next slide really illustrates that, but images, key art are absolutely essential, and multiple formats: landscape, portrait, hero shots, group shots. You need high quality, good selection of images that the platforms and the marketing teams can use to showcase the content. The synopsis, lots of variations, short, medium, long, and they need to, again, to support the discovery of what the program's about. And metadata. So every platform that we work with has different specifications on the metadata. And you need to have an abundance of options and as much information as you can to supply to them so they can adapt it to their needs. So every single one of them has different requirements, and we need to be able to deliver that so when your content goes up on that platform, again, people can discover. And also the magnifying glass, there's another reference we can use with that. It's not just about the discovery, but the decisions are made based on forensic analysis of data and statistics and metrics. As much as content buying used to be a little bit intuition and a little bit insights and data, 80–90% of it now is all about the metrics. You know, who watched the program, how long did they stay, who did they refer it to? You know, all this is analysed in detail by all the platforms we sell to. I'd like to say that that they share that information with us, but you know, the stats that Jess can refer to in terms of the DVD landscape, it's really hard to extract that data with digital platforms. They know it, they refer to it in all their decisions, they very, very rarely share it. But you know that if they're going to relicense the program, if they're going to acquire more similar content, that's what's working for them. This is the example of the key art that I wanted to share with you. So we represent a series called 72 Dangerous Animals Australia. It's produced out of WA by a company called Showrunner. It's now a franchise that started with this series. Netflix licensed this for North America alone, but then they extended their license for a global deal, and the feedback they gave us was because they felt that it really achieved cut-through on their site. So you can imagine this striking image on the Netflix homepage or any other homepage, and they really think that it was really powerful in helping people discover the program and watch the program, and therefore encourage them to extend their license. So just be really mindful of that key art and imagery when you're developing and producing your programs. In terms of our team, there's a map of the world, but there's more again. Oh, look, it's going to be a very slow build. So. Look, actually, it's going to take a long time. Anyway, so I'm not going to tell you where that is, but this slide is really just to indicate where we're present in the market, because still a lot of decisions and communication is via email and Skype and phone, but you also need to have a strong market presence. So our team is located in Sydney and London, and we travel to all the key markets around the world to actually meet with people and build those relationships and earn their trust, to take the time to listen to them to find out what they want. And it is still very important. And for us, we obviously leverage the ABC brand, because the ABC brand is highly recognised and is associated with quality and trust. So it's fantastic for us to be able to use that as the umbrella for us in the marketplace. Still in more. I'm not sure how many we're still in. Okay. This is really just to give you a little bit of an overview of the sort of the variety of the genres that we represent. We have content from all genres, and what the benefit that delivers is that it means that the catalogue is large enough that we are at the table and having the discussions with all the key players that we need to be having discussions with, but also that the catalogue is small enough that all programs receive tailored, focused attention. The great thing too is that we are also a recognised supplier, direct supplier to all the platforms. So a lot of distributors have to go through a transcoder and aggregator to upload to the likes of Hulu and Netflix and Amazon, whereas ABC is able to supply directly. So it's much more efficient and obviously more effective that way. I just put this Soulmate slide up because not only do we showcase and sell programs, but our relationships can also help create opportunity for additional programs. So Soulmates we licensed Soulmates to CISO, which is the new comedy platform, digital SVOD platform launched by Universal in North America. And through those discussions, CISO decided to come on board as a co-commissioner for a production partner on the new series of Soulmates. So the model that we were able to introduce via the sale of Series 1 was that they are equal investors with ABC in the production of Series 2. And there's a likelihood that that will also apply to another Australian comedy production. So it's great because of the relationships that you can create those additional opportunities. This I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that we also have a library sales business which has an amazing archive of audio footage and stills that you can access to help make productions as well. And I was just really thrilled the other day. I want a hands up, please. Who's seen the new Steve Jobs movie? Okay. Now, was there anything apart from the high production values of that film, and Kate's pretty good, and so is Michael Fassbender, but apart from that, was there anything that just amazed you and you thought was really powerful and fantastic about that film? I wish I had a gold star! Absolutely! Okay, Veronica, what happened? Tell everyone, tell us about this movie.
I haven't seen the film.
Well, for those who haven't seen it, and for those who did but just didn't realise, the Steve Jobs movie opens with ABC Archive. And it was really, because my team sold it, and they did tell me last year, but I'd forgotten. And then when I was watching the film, it opens with black screen, and then you hear this voice, and I thought, oh gosh, that sounds like Australian. And then the footage opens, and it was a journalist whose name I can't remember, but I think it was Four Corners, interviewing Arthur C. Clarke about what computers in the world will look like. So those who've seen the film, you remember that footage now? How powerful was it? It's a gem. So anyway, there are many more gems just sitting in the ABC archive waiting for you to discover. But if you haven't, when you do get to see it, it really it's a perfect piece. But it's just lovely, to have some of our amazing footage and just showcased in that sort of film. So anyway, good guess, Veronica. You should have seen it. But no, we have lots of gems. Cyrus Irani, if you don't know him, please, I'll give you his details afterwards. He's the font of all knowledge with respect to what's in our archive and what we might have available to help you. So really, that's the last of our slides. We just wanted to give you a little bit of insight and snapshot into our business, how we approach the market, some of the key considerations. Obviously, we can share as much information as you'd like afterwards. What we're going to do now is to open the floor to questions, and Robert and Jess and I are going to sit up here under the banner, which hopefully will behave itself, and then Joan's going to move up and just facilitate the questions. But thank you very much, and now open up to you.